We're back.
We're back.
We did it.
We here.
We did it.
We're in the
back.
house.
We're back from what? We're back from the last episode?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're a binge listener, it's like, hello again.
Yeah, I think so. I've taught my son to say, I rock the house.
Do you say, who rocks the house?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then he'll say it. It's really funny, actually. And now, like, if you get him to try to do it for anybody else, he just kind of looks at you like, and he just does a smile like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, come on. It's like Michigan J. Frog, Like, I promise you this frog talks and dances.
Yeah. The WB guy, right?
Right.
The WB.
Yeah. And so now he just, Hazel did, our daughter did the exact same thing. She would do something really
like
awesome.
Michigan J. Frog?
No, not like that. She would do something that's really awesome and funny.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd try to get them to do it in front of other people. And we're like, it's really fun. Watch. Go ahead. Go ahead. I promise you it's really good. Hold on. Go ahead. Just, yeah. And
then you end up having to like scroll back in your phone and see if you like recorded it or something. Like, no, I promise they actually did this funny thing.
Or then it's more of like they do it like 2 seconds, no, like 2 minutes later, and no one's paying attention. They do it. No.
I know. Dance on command, child. I made you.
You should obey thy father and mother.
Do you see what I've done? I'm turning it on its head, man.
You're obsessed with an upside down microphone. You're not Joe Rogan. He does not use that microphone.
He does not use a sub $50 microphone. He does not use a Samson microphone.
Samson, not Samsung.
No. Yeah, I got to read it because it's upside down. But yeah, Samson. It's a Samson Meteor mic. It's one that we bought years ago when we were doing our other show. And this is the one that we would always use when we would go like out someplace.
It reminds me, you saying the name of it reminds me of Dumb and Dumber when he's like Samsonite,
Swimmy, Swami,
Samsonite. I was so close. There's a Swansonite, Swansons. What is it?
Yeah. No, that's good.
I'm probably quoting it terribly wrong. And listeners are going, no, you did it all wrong. Okay, sorry. So don't quote me on the quote.
Yeah. So for those of you who are not watching the show, only listening to the show, I do have my microphone upside down.
Yeah.
I was laughing and telling Zack that I saw a clip of Joe Rogan the other day talking in a studio, and his microphone was upside down, and I was like,
and we have not stopped talking about it for at least several days at this point.
Well, the thing is I flipped it upside down, but I didn't realize that I had turned the direction backwards, and Zack was complaining about how awful the audio quality was lately.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just upside. I'm still talking to the same piece. And he's like, are you sure? And then like pre-call, I'm like turning the microphone around, and then I realized, I'm speaking into the back of the microphone because this is a what is it? I guess a single direction microphone, and
it's omnidirectional.
Yeah, and it's not fancy like yours, but
it gets the job settings. Hey, it works. I can hear you.
Yeah,
now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason. It's now 5 minutes. This is like our MO. Like 5-10 minutes in, and then we get to the top. So
I think it's great. I think this is a good format because we start with
100%
with anecdotes and things that are going on in our lives, because we're normal humans.
You're gonna hear my kids probably. That's one of the things you were saying before.
Yeah, I heard them just before the call.
You're like Charlie Brown talking about this as teacher.
Yep. It's a trombone, I think. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. It sounds like one. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. I think you said you were gonna mention something about when you worked at the radio studio, right?
So yes, I in college, I thought I was going to be. I wanted to do something.
Be Casey Kasem.
No, that was really loud.
We could fix that in post, right?
I think so. I wanted to be in audio. I wanted to do because I loved music. I still do love music. But I thought I was going to be like an audio engineer or something like that. And I got a job at a radio station in Athens, Georgia.
Go Dogs.
And yes, right, go Dogs. And it was actually 5 or 6 stations. I can't remember. I think it was 5 stations that were all. There was 3 in one studio and 2 in another studio. That's what it was. It was 5. And I remember, I'll never forget, because Jason was like, because I said, if we keep talking, you won't be able to hear my kids in the background because you'll just hear us talking.
Yeah, so no dead air.
So no dead air. And that's what made me think about this story that it was probably I'd only been there maybe a month working there. And my boss, Kevin Steele, shout out Kevin Steele, he gave me a weekend shift, it was a Sunday morning shift. And he was like, they're going to be on location. And it actually was a Sunday afternoon because it's like 1 or so in the afternoon. They're going to be on location. All you have to do is switch them back and forth from the live broadcast over to the people on location and then back into the regular feed. We just have to make sure that goes smooth. I was like, perfect. They'd already done it a couple of times with some other people. This was going to be my first time doing it by myself. I was very nervous. I wanted to get there like 45 minutes early. I was going to be the only one in the station, so my wife actually would come with me a lot of times. And that's another story too, because we used to do Braves games and stuff like that were 5 or 6 hours long. All we had to do was sit there, and all I had to hit was one button at the end of the night. Game's over. All right, time to leave. And there were times where we would get everything set up, and then we would leave, lock up the station, let it run. Yeah, it would let it run. I'm on the clock, and I would go get something to eat and go back. And no one was the wiser. Anyway, so I get there early. I pull into the parking lot, and I thought there was I didn't realize that there wasn't going to be anybody there. I thought somebody would at least be there to have the door open.
Yeah.
Let's just cut to the punchline. The door was locked.
So is there like music playing or something like that?
So here's the thing. I didn't have so it was regular programming was going on. I knew when the time slots were going to be, but and it was I was there 45 minutes early. So I was like, I have plenty of time. I can get somebody here. I didn't have anybody's phone number except for Kevin's. And so I'm panic calling Kevin, like, I don't have a key. He's not answering. So I'm leaving a voicemail.
Time's ticking closer to when you're supposed to start.
Yes, it happened. The first spot went live, and it's just bed music. That's all it is. Just 5 minutes of just for 5 minutes. And my boss
at this point, are you like looking on the ground for a rock to like break into a window or
no,
something?
I'm living there going, I'm going to get fired. I'm so fired. I'm so fired right now. My boss calls me while the bed music is going. He goes, what's happening? I was like, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I don't have a key. He goes, why do you not have a key? I was like, I didn't know I needed to have a key. I thought somebody's going to be here. Someone should have given you a key. I was like, I promise you, I didn't know anything about a key. All I know is I need to get in the building. He goes, well, hold on. Let me see if I can get somebody. Somebody finally did come and show up, and he let me in. The guy was like super nice, like, hey, man, no one gave you a key? I was like, no. Sounds about right. And the dude was super cool. Like, he stayed with us. I think his name was Chris. And he stayed with us like the entire time. We like talked about all kinds of stuff. He gave me like all kinds of tips and stuff. And he's like, Kevin tells you to do it this way. You should really do it this way. It's way easier, a lot faster, easier to do. He wants you to do it the old school way.
So how long were you off the air?
How long was I off the air?
Yeah.
So it did the dead air for 5 minutes, and then the guy showed up for the next one, I was supposed to be in the studio for 4 hours, and they did two spots every hour.
Oh, okay.
So I had like that. It was like 15 minutes.
So it kept going. It was just playing nothing because there was nothing to broadcast on your side.
Right. I was supposed to be able to take it. It would, the bed music would play over the DJ on location speaking. And
Gotcha.
it was a 5-minute spot. And if they went longer, which you're not supposed to, I could extend that out to continue to play longer.
Gotcha.
Anyways. That was a really long story. Yes, I'm like, I'm sitting there going,
wait, isn't it like Mortal Kombat? What is that?
I don't know. I just made something in my mind.
Mortal Kombat.
It may have been, and I just don't realize it.
I love it.
So let's get to over.
Okay, so that was a great show. What are we doing for our next show?
We just talk about random stuff. That's what we're going to do. The Hustle Machine is no longer about entrepreneurs and helping you or anything like that. It's about just telling funny stories. So I hope you enjoyed. Tune in next week. I'll share another story. Don't know where it's going to go. But
another story that will also feature a hummed version of Mortal Kombat.
It'll probably be whistling. I'll do whistling next time, but I'll have to turn away because I don't want to do it in the mic.
Yeah, you need a little filter for that. Yeah, so today we are talking about goals.
Like field goals? Like, it's good.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Go. Oh, or soccer. Yeah.
Or here you go, field goal. I got my Bills shirt. Go Bills. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about goals. How do you commit to them? How do you reach them? How do you define them? We're just going to talk about goals. So, it's kind of like an understood thing. So if you want to be successful, or if you want to be able to, let me rewind that. If you want to be in a point where you can measure success, if you want to be able to know when success has occurred, definitively, you have to set a goal, right? So you can be successful without goal setting. It's possible. You can do it. But how do you know when you have arrived? How do you know when you've hit your goals? Right. So
you're saying that it's not just a goal setting. It needs to be a measurable thing.
Yeah.
Correct?
SMART goals. Everybody listening knows about SMART goals, or at least, they have heard of it, or, it's a buzzword that's popped in, but it's just something was it smart, measurable, achievable, whatever. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's goals, because the biggest thing about SMART goals for me is that they're measurable, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, is that it's measurable. They're realistic goals that you can measure, and so when success has been achieved, right? Yeah. And so let's just talk about it. So when I was in my other careers doing marketing for other companies, it was part of like our marketing plan and our business goals. So I know, let's say one summer, I worked for a resort, ran the marketing there, and I would have a nice juicy budget. Like, I'm talking like eat a whole pack of juicy fruit at once in the first 3 minutes, kind of juicy. Not like juicy fruit when it's been in your mouth for like 10 minutes and it tastes like you're chewing on cardboard. But like, I'm talking about super juicy. It was a great budget. And I had the summer to spend it. We were very seasonal. And so we worked,
Wait, you spent the whole budget in the summer?
Well, I had a seasonal budget. Like, it was like, this is your budget for the summer. This is your budget for the winter. So I had my budget for framed around the big seasonal events that we had. Anyway, so I had to spend a certain amount of money. It's one of those things where you spend it, make sure you spend it all, because hopefully we can ask for more later,
or you'll lose it.
Yeah. So I had goals that I needed to hit, and so I made sure that my spending was, went hand in hand with that. And it was funny. I went to my boss, and she says, "Okay, so what's your goals? What are you thinking for the summer?" And I had a really good track record at this point already, which is why I got that juicy fruit budget. And band name called it. Juicy fruit budget. Anyway, so I had
the juicy fruit's what they used to call me in high school.
The joke is college.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
Anyway, so
that's a movie. That's a show
success
reference.
up to then, and so it was good that I had gotten this budget. They trusted me with it, and my boss was like, "So what are your goals for the summer. And I was very like, okay, I was in my head about this going, okay, I've got this much. I need to at least double, what our current growth rate is on social media. I want to at least grow that by, I want to at least double it, what our current growth rate is. And then I want to, make sure that that is flowing down into sales, and we're making money. And so I was like, okay, doubling, that seems reasonable. I don't want to go too high. I don't want to get crazy and then not achieve it, and then and get fired. And I didn't want to go too low and then be like, this guy. So I was like, okay, I think it's reasonable to think that we can double our growth that we're seeing right now with this good budget and with the marketing plan that I have surrounding it. We're gonna double it. My boss, without even missing a beat, looks at me and goes, "Let's triple it." And I was like, and then I don't know why, I immediately said, I like swallowed really hard, and I was like, I'm gonna more than triple it. And she's like, okay, do it.
And you're like, why did I do that?
And I was like, okay, so now I really need to make this money work for me. And we had a goal. We had a really big whiteboard in the office, and we were tracking daily progress, and we were really methodical about how we ran our promotions and our marketing efforts, and our social media was literally, it was on fire that summer. And it was all because, one, I was working towards a goal, and two, I reported to someone who was always really good at pushing me in ways that helped me find success. Shout out to kind of like my first like real world marketing boss, Stephanie. She was killer. She was amazing. Really taught me a lot about what it means to lead, what it means to build a program, and just how to be a good human. So anyway, but it was a great summer. We saw a lot of success, and long story short, we more than tripled the growth, and we saw it happening. It was super exciting. We had little dance breaks in the office when we would hit milestones. And all that's to say, we set the goal so that when success arrived, we knew to open the door and say, hello, we're here. Now what's our next thing? And we could, live in that moment. Because we hit success.
Well, let me ask you this question. So I hear you telling a very captivating story about how you reached your goal, but what was the steps along the way? Because I think that's one of the things that most people get into this frame of mind, and there's lots of different methods and theories that you can try with this. I know there's the whole theory of write it down every day. I don't think that is. I don't think you necessarily
I don't subscribe to that, but I'm not everybody. I think as far as goal setting, setting, goal tracking, stuff like that, I think it just works what works for you. We know a lot of people who do that write it down every day thing. And I think that just, it helps it to be present in front of you. I know you keep yours directly in front of you, which is why you look off camera. And you can see,
as I said that, I was looking at it.
Yeah. But for us, it was several different parts of the process. And so we're talking Facebook growth. We were really big at the time in making sure that our platform was growing, because that was our biggest outlet to the world. And during that time,
it made sense for your industry. I mean,
I mean, during that time, we grew from, not just that summer, but during the time that I was there running the program, we went from 7,000 Facebook fans to 120,000 Facebook followers directly on that channel. And
just a few.
Yeah, just a few. And I would say during that summer, it was probably 20 or 30 fans that we increased, 20 or 30,000 fans.
I was about to say, You're starting.
Yeah,
really low.
I didn't tell you that our growth
7.
rate was only 5 fans, and then we just needed to, we needed to increase it.
Oh my gosh.
No. It was like 20 or 30,000, might have been 40. I don't know. It was really big because that was the last summer before I resigned and moved on to the next career. But anyway, so for us, that all started with analyzing our past successes, our past wins, and trying to set a baseline for what we thought growth could look like. And so it was really just mapping it all out. We were looking at where we were along the way. We're like, okay, we hit this milestone with this many fans. Okay, by the end of the summer, that's 3 months. Okay, so let's look back 3 months. Where were we then? Okay, let's look at the growth rate. And we really just projected where we would be. And then, we had our model of doubling it, and then we had our model of where we could be to triple it, right? And so we had everything mapped out on our whiteboard. And one of the things we did every morning, I'm not really big for like morning meetings. What's that reel that's going around right now? Like, I understood the assignment, like that. Like, I understood the assignment or whatever. I think that is kind of how my team operated. We worked really well, just understanding what we have to do each and every day. And team came in. One of us would track progress from overnight and see where we were on our graph, and be like, okay, we're tracking well. We're tracking above where we should be trending right now. And then we had several milestones along the way that we had built out for campaigns, for different contests that we wanted to run, different events that were happening in the park that we needed to pre-promote and cross-promote on social media in order to get more traction. Because our goal was not like and follow us, right? Our goal was to have enough growth that it reflected in numbers in the water park, heads and beds in the hotel, people just coming onto the islands and just enjoying themselves, like spending money and just having knowledge about the property. So hello to your family. I can hear them in the background. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing was doing the work beforehand, setting milestones, and then being conscientious about it every morning and going, where are we and where do we need to be? Are we doing enough to be able to meet this goal that we have? And just keeping it, just checking in with it each day. I think that's the big thing.
I think a lot of times too, we set, it's like when you get at the first of the year and everybody has these audacious goals for their personal life throughout the year. Yeah. Like, I try to set a goal of reading at least 60 books. I'm probably not going to hit that this year, just with work and everything. It just didn't play in my favor. I'm over 30 at the moment, but I just don't think I'll hit 60 by the end of the year, which still hitting 40 or 50 is still a big deal, right? So the point I'm making is oftentimes I mentioned at the beginning of the year, we set these massive goals that we want to hit for the year.
Right.
But oftentimes we don't check in on those to see how we're doing. And I think it's okay. Like, sometimes we go really big, especially people who are dreamers like myself. I end up saying, I'm going big. I even thought about going from 60 to 120 bucks a year. Like, there's no way. I would literally have to constantly be consuming. Like, it was just, there's just no way. But the point I'm making is, take a step back at some point and just go, if you're constantly hitting under that goal, on these benchmarks that you've laid out, and you keep hitting short, maybe the goal's too big. Maybe you went too big, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, that's fine. Let me just scale back. For example, like you mentioned, your previous employer, one of the previous employers I worked for as a marketing director, our goal was to double every 5 years. So every year we only had to grow by 15%, right? So every right, that's right. So we only had to grow by 15% every year. So that seems more doable than saying I'm going to double every year.
Mm-hmm.
If you say I'm going to double every year, gosh, the amount that you're going to have to pour into it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but maybe bite off a little at a time. And if you're going to double every 5 years, that's a reasonable goal, especially when you say in 5 years, that's my goal. So what do I need to do? So every year we need to be growing by 15%.
Right. Well, I think that's the biggest,
or 20. No, it's 20. It'd be 20%, right?
I think the biggest takeaway there is that it's a realistic goal, because I see that happen a lot, especially with like new team members. When they join a team, they really want to prove that it was a good choice to hire them, and so they set really big goals. And it's okay to set really big goals, but if it's not a realistic goal that you can attain, throwing in those big markers for SMART goals, but if it's not attainable and it's not realistic, you're only setting yourself up and your team for a disaster. So I subscribe to the mentality that when you need to set really attainable goals, that's a-okay. If you want to set a little goal that you know that you can crush, do it, because you're going to feel great when you do it. You're like, heck yeah, I did it. I finished my whole list today. I got to do this. And great. I'm going to reward myself with 30 minutes of Hulu after lunch or something, I don't know, whatever. Not that I do that at all, but I think it's, I think it's really good for you to set small goals, little mini achievable goals that you can hit that give you a little boost. Because if you set like pie in the sky, so I work a lot by I think I've shown my notebook here on the show. I like tangible things that I can work. And one of the new things that I've started to work on for task and goal setting is I use little cards. I have different cards, color coded based on projects that I'm working on, and I do a little check-in. And so when I'm working on something, I make sure that my lists are checked off, and then when I hit a goal, I get to throw away the card. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to throw away as many open cards as I can. And I think that when you have little goals, I think that's awesome. It's great to have big goals, but the little ones are the ones that make you feel good too.
Well, you have to have them in tandem. I think that everybody knows this. Well, yeah. I say that, but going back to the whole conversation of the goal setting that happens at the first of the year, everybody's saying, well, we're gonna do. I'm gonna lose 30 pounds by end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is audacious, and you have to be. That's no.
They didn't tell you they're having surgery on the 20th.
Right, that's not realistic. So what you do is you say by July 1st, which is halfway through the year, I want to have lost 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in order for me to hit that goal, what do I need to do every single month? In order for me to hit the goal for every single month, what do I need to do every single week?
Right.
In order for me to hit that goal, what do I need to do every single day? And then all those little incremental.
You don't think going all the way down to a day makes it a little like like anxiety ridden?
It depends on what it is. I think if you're like, for example, one of the things that we're trying to get better at is producing more content on our with our company, right?
Right.
I'm trying to dedicate at least an hour every day to just write.
Mm-hmm.
Just to write out some new content, put it together. Sometimes I do a little bit more. This morning I wrote a little bit more than an hour just because I was in that mindset. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I got this train of thought, and I wrote a lot. I wrote, almost a full blog article this morning. So it's like, now I can do a lot more with that piece, but it gets us to another goal, right? Our goal is to create more content so that we get more value, generate more trust with our clients, and so on and so forth to get more leads in the door and close more sales. But I'm trying to get into the habit of trying to work on something, some piece of article, some content every day.
Mm.
So no, I think it depends. When you look at it, especially let's go to the weight loss scenario. You could say, I want to lose half a pound. I want to lose a quarter of a pound every single day. So what do I need to do there? I need to make sure I watch what I eat, track what I eat. So those are tracking every single day what you eat gets you to that bigger goal. So I think it most certainly breaking it down to daily is not a, you can even go as far as financial goals too. Like, what do I need to save every single day? How can I save? If my goal is to save this amount of money or to pay off this whatever. What do I need to make sure I get every single day in order to hit that goal?
Yeah.
And then when you break it down to, because I think you see companies now breaking down how much something costs per month, or it's only 80 cents per day.
Yeah.
Then when you break it down like that, it's like, oh, I can come up with 80 cents per day. I can figure out how to make 80 cents.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that when you break it down even that far, that micro, like that at that micro level, I think that you can go a lot further.
It's like whatever it takes for it to click in your brain to go like, oh, I could do that. You know, it's like, oh, well, you need to finish. It's like, okay, so say you want to write a book. You're like, oh, I've got to write 1,000 pages. I can't write 1,000 pages. I've never sat down and written more than 2, you know, or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, 2. Okay, well, what's a reasonable time frame to get the book done in? Can you do 2 pages a day? All right. Or how about 2 pages in the morning and 2 pages in the afternoon, whatever it is. And I think it's whatever it takes to get your brain to click in and go like, oh, you could do that.
That's when
it's like a whole book. Whoo! I feel like a lot of people would be like, I can't do that. I just can't do that, because it's like you sit down to eat a meal and it's like, you got to eat this whole thing. And it's like, maybe it's like an entire cake. Like, I can't eat a whole cake. Well, okay. Well, you've got a week to eat the cake. Right. Oh, well, I could eat a cake in a week. You know what I mean? It's just like,
well, that's the same thing.
To devalue the whole weight loss thing. That I can it's like eating a whole cake, but
that's exactly what I did with the 60 books. I was like, because I told my wife, I was like, I'm setting a goal. I heard a stat that said that the average CEO reads or listens to 60 books a year.
Yeah.
My goal is to get 60 books. Okay. And then I started going, okay, there's 12 months in a year. That means I need to read 5 books every month. That means an average of at least 1 book a week, and part of a book for the, Oh, okay. So sometimes there's 5 weeks in a month, but most of them they're averaging 4 weeks a month.
Yeah.
So, okay, that a book a week is doable.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would say, I want to try to make sure that I read at least 1 book a month, like physically read 1 book a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm breaking down how many pages, looking at the book and saying there's 190 pages. What do I need to do every single day to hit that goal?
Yeah.
So when you start thinking of it that way, it becomes more tangible. It becomes easier
for sure
to hit your goal in the long run. So
yeah. And then going back to what I was saying before about setting little goals, like little tiny goals that give you like, hey, you just completed a goal. Throw that into the mix, and you throw in those super small books on tape that are like 2.5 hours, and you're like, oh, I just finished a book in the afternoon.
Whoa. You know? Yeah.
So I mean, it's you set little goals within that framework to help you get to that top goal. So
agreed.
I feel like earlier I glazed over the SMART goal thing, and I was like, whatever. But I think it's really true, because I think during this entire conversation, we've thrown out all of the specifics about what it is. So I pulled it up so I wouldn't mess up one of the pieces on it about what it is. And they are SMART, they're specific, measurable. Some people say attainable. Some people say achievable. Really the same thing. Realistic or relevant, and then timely or time bound. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. And we talked about all of those things. We talked about getting specific and saying exactly what you want. Being able to measure it, I think, is one of the biggest takeaways for when you know that you've hit success. Yeah. Making sure that it's attainable and realistic, so you're not setting yourself up for success, and then giving it a time bound framework of how long it's going to take to get there. So use that framework. So I'm sorry for glancing over it earlier, but it
How
really is
dare you.
important. But well, you know, I think I've had to do one too many times. It's like exercises when you work at different companies and they're like, write out your SMART goals for this project. And so you have to like reference specifically for that project, like why is it specific? How is it measurable? I think it's as long as you have in the back of your head that you need to make sure you tick all those boxes when you're goal setting. I think you're ready for success. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think it's something that you have to write out like every piece of the SMART goal. You know,
right? You get it. Yeah. We used to do SWOT as well. Strengths, weaknesses, oppositions, and
or opportunities,
opportunities, and
oppositions.
What was the T?
Huh?
What was the T?
SWOT team or SWOT analysis?
SWOT analysis. Threats. That's it.
Yeah, that's your opposition. You just you threw in the T.
I threw the opposition. Yeah, I switched them. Well, anyways, I think that's all valuable information. I hope you guys can take away some of that stuff. Some of it's probably not groundbreaking, but hopefully you guys can listen to it and go, gosh, you know what? You're right. I need to write out some smaller goals to be able to achieve the bigger ones. And make sure, I think you guys saw below, we have our little ticker at the bottom that's rolling. Make sure you connect with us. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to the podcast. Go and hit that like button. Follow us on all the channels and all of the videos and all of the things. So you don't ever miss an episode.
You're so specific.
I know, so specific.
Gosh, I love how specific you are. Anyway, thanks for listening to Hustle Machine. We'll come back to you at a non-specific time, at a non-specific place, at a non-specific channel that you're listening to.
It'll still be the same channel you go. Don't listen to them.
Okay.
You'll be able to find us.
See you
later.
Soon. Bye.